Very good morning. Namaskar, Suprabhat, Sat Sri Akal. Welcoming all to this session hosted by CIO Club. As you are aware, the current situation, we all know that the confirmed cases worldwide has gone beyond 15 plus crores. Confirmed deaths are over 3.1 million. The good news is the vaccine drive is also going well. It is approximately 101 plus crores, which has been done across the world. In India, the confirmed cases are approximately 1.9 plus crores till now, and the confirmed deaths have crossed 2.1 lakhs. Actually, we are witnessing a massive spike in the number of coronavirus cases. In the country, many people are grappling with the shortage of medical oxygen, antiviral remdesivir, hospital beds, and vaccines. For the first time, we could see that more asymptomatic people have been admitted to the hospitals. And this is the second wave. In this wave, more cases of breathlessness have been witnessed, while in the previous one, symptoms like dry cough, joint pain, headaches were there. The symptoms of joint ache, fatigue, muscle ache, loss of smell or sore throat are much less compared to the first wave. And the biggest concern is the shortness of breath. It is higher in this wave, and it is raising like anything. This has also resulted in less oxygen availability in the country, and you might have witnessed in the news what is happening. Since the past year, the virus has mutated many times over, and there are various unidentified mutations of them, and some of them are really a concern. I talk about today's data. There is a record rise of COVID cases as of today, and over 4 lakh plus cases were reported, which is a record. And while the deaths have been jumped to more than 3.5 thousand. CI Club thought of bringing this topic with experts who are into prevention, therapy, and building immunity against this disease. While we all are going for vaccination drive, we all know that vaccination shortages are there, and government is trying their best to provide vaccines to everyone. Now, from today, it is open for 18 plus, and we urge all of you to go for it. If it is available, please go for it. And also see that the immunity is in place. You are fit and healthy to face this situation. Because many cases I personally saw that people were not able to know how this has happened to them. There are no clues available to them, although they are staying at home. So the best thing is to go for vaccination and also be prepared from immunity side to face any kind of situation which comes. Before I start, I would like to request Vidisha madam to play the CIO Club video, and then I will introduce you to our expert. Vidisha madam, if you could please play the video please.
CIO Club is an initiative of CIO Association, an association of CIOs by CIOs and for CIOs. CIOs of Indian enterprises has formed the CIO Club, registered as the CIO Association. CIO Club is a non-profit and the largest association of Chief Information Officers in India. It is registered under the Indian Societies Act. CIO Club was formed in 2008, and from one chapter in 2008, CIO Club has now grown to 10 chapters over the years. We now have chapters in Mumbai, Delhi NCR, Chennai, Bangalore, Pune, Coimbatore, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Kerala, and Ahmedabad. From a humble beginning of 30 CIOs in Mumbai, it has now grown to more than 1,800 plus members across the country. CIO Club is governed by a governing body and the chapter managing committees which drive the CIO Club objectives nationally. Our technology partners leverage this strong platform to showcase their products and services to the CIOs. The key objectives of the club are to share experience, enhance knowledge, and explore better business solutions by leveraging the collective wisdom of a large number of CIOs who are registered members. The primary objective is to drive the business benefit to the organizations of the member CIOs and also help CIOs in their professional growth as leaders. The club also encourages entrepreneurial spirit by providing a platform for sharing and generating innovative ideas in the larger interest of the community. CIOs from every industrial domain indulge in this endeavor for the evolution of the IT community. Today, CIO Club is poised to scale up in terms of location spread, breadth of membership, and building new alliances to bring international best practices within the reach of the community. International club relationships are being built. One such initiative is CIONet. Members of CIO Club get free access to a wealth of knowledge and opportunities to network and mark their presence in the international community of CIOs. More emphasis is being led on knowledge sharing and also avenues of spreading this knowledge to other members of the IT departments are being set up. CIO Club is actively working with industry bodies such as NASCOM, CII, ASSOCHAM to ensure that the CIO community has a voice in such forums. We have also constituted special interest groups on IT security and digital transformation to strengthen knowledge and experience sharing in these two critical areas of information technology. We are working towards a welfare program and executive education. For details, visit us on cioclub.com. Follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Thank you so much for playing the video, Vidisha. Now let me introduce to our co-host and expert, which we have invited today, Dr. Renu Mehtani. I know her for quite some time and she's a true healer in spirit and profession. She is practicing physician for the past 30 plus years with a commitment to provide deep lasting solutions by addressing health issues at their level. She has taken special trainings to other scientific and effective therapies, which goes beyond symptomatic treatment of disease. So generally, people are stuck at symptomatic things, but she works on the root cause. Dr. Renu Mehtani.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, Dr. Renu.
I'm trying to, yes, somehow I'm not, I'm clicking on the video icon. Yes, I'm clicking on it, but yeah, now it's got open.
So, Dr. Renu, we can hear you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Basant, for the opportunity. I think you can't see me, but that's fine, huh?
Yeah, it's fine with me. Absolutely no problem. You may start in case you are ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Can you hear me well without any breaks? Is the communication smooth?
Yes, communication is very clear.
Oh,
I can see you.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Mr. Basant. It's such a pleasure. And you gave such a vivid description of the scenario of today. So that saves my time and to know the graveness of the situation. So let me directly go on to what we can do to build a better strength of our body. Hence, I use the word, how do I strengthen my fort? So just give me a second. I will just start my screen for a small presentation. And then we'll have a little more of practical interaction with this wonderful audience.
Sure. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. Yeah, is it visible?
Yes, very much. I could see that.
Thank you so much. Great. So, a very warm good morning to all of you. And it's a matter of great concern in today's time because we had never expected such a scenario to happen. And Corona has gone to Corona 2 phase. And the word disease has been added. Friends, this virus is present around, as we know. And finally, we have to get exposed to it to build immunity against it, whether through a vaccine or naturally. But the aim is to prevent the disease part of it, to prevent the negative part of this happening, the Corona 2 disease. So there are so many strategies we keep reading about, that how to, meet this challenge of today. So I thought, let me make it little more deeper and correlate our body like a fort. कहते हैं ना, अपने किले को मजबूत रखो ताकि कल कोई भी attack करे तो we can, sort of deal with it. So with that aim, and knowing that we have many attackers on us now, this virus is a very, very clever one, and it mutates, it changes its forms. So it's in that process. We hear of a South African strain, we hear of an Indian strain coming up now. So it's important to make ourselves strong. And here, I thought, talking to such an elite, august crowd like you all, hardware is our body, okay? And then a good software, when it is installed into it, it comes up with a good outcome. So why not target both? Hardware with something and our software with something to strengthen this fort of ours. And as you can see in front of you, the hardware part, which I'm going to talk to you about, is the very vital vitamin D. And the software we are going to install would be of proper breathing and the breath therapy. So friends, moving ahead, vitamin D, as you can see in this picture, truly it is a gift of nature to humanity. I call it the chemical expression of God's sun. Life is not possible without sun. Good health is not possible without vitamin D. And we have actually ignored its importance. We have really taken it for granted. It is actually an unsung hero. So we have limited our understanding of vitamin D to only preventing rickets. But the fact is, it is just the tip of an iceberg. It has a role to play in a huge list of problems, including flu and including this COVID type of a serious viral infection. And friends, whatever I'm going to talk to you, I'll make it as simple because I don't want to get into medical jargons. But let me tell you at this juncture that whatever is being spoken is substantiated. And there are many proofs, studies, papers, and there are groups of doctors, people worldwide who are playing a very vital role to bring this vital nutrient back to us, because we have now realized that vitamin D is not only working for the bones. Every cell of the body has a nucleus, and every nucleus of the body has receptors for vitamin D. Means vitamin D works on every cell of our body. And at the same time, there's a very gloomy picture of a pandemic, a pre-existing pandemic of vitamin D deficiency globally, including the tropical country like India. Not only 90%, now it is 99% of our population is found to be low in vitamin D. And the time has come when vitamin D is not an optional supplement. Ki kha lenge, dekhenge, we will see. It has become a non-negotiable necessity for our cells. It is a very important support system for our health. I will not go into detailed mechanism, but at least this one slide to show that how vitamin D has so many pathways to work upon when it comes to the SARS-CoV, whether it is the protective role in the lungs, we heard about the cytokine storm, bradykinin storm, renal failure, heart failure. It has a role to play everywhere. Friends, it is a very intelligent molecule. No wonder it's a gift of sun to us. Not a single pharmaceutical agent can do all these so many functions which alone this molecule can do. So let me make it a little more interesting for you. At the first level of contact of the virus with the body, if there are adequate vitamin D levels in the body, it gives local defense. Local defense means nose, throat, our windpipe, by producing natural antibiotics and antivirals called as defensins and cathelicidins. Means if we have adequate vitamin D, we can produce these natural antivirals at the site of contact. As you can see, the picture is covering and coating of the spike protein occurring with the help of these natural protective agents, which are made provided we have adequate vitamin D levels. Then the dreaded respiratory failure. Well, friends, vitamin D plays a role. I just shared with you the pathway. and it has many mechanisms to work on the adaptive immune response. I'm not getting into that, to prevent this cytokine storm, right? But the levels have to be adequate. So let's make it practical. Are we getting enough vitamin D is a question, and I'm sure the answer is a no, because this deficiency is global. If we look at the vitamin D levels today, normally the labs check it in nanograms per ml. The average levels of 50 above, which used to be in the 80s, have started dropping down, as you can see. And now the levels are showing less than 30, less than 20. And friends, I'll show you reports of today. We see levels less than 10. It is shocking to see levels even less than 3, less than 4. This is what the reports show. And let's know one thing. Our ancestors, who were outdoor personalities, their blood levels used to be 70 to 80 or above nanogram per ml. Let's know this comparison. What is the difference between them and us? And by the way, it has now been accepted that the understanding of vitamin D should have been different, because levels of 20 were noted to be normal, were told to be normal. Okay, that if your blood levels are 20, 30, it's fine. But now it is found that the minimal desired level, even for healthy bones, is 40. Okay, let's note it. 40 nanogram per ml. And there are some labs who check it in some other unit, which is nanomole, right? So if you see 40 nanomole, you have to divide it by 2.5 to get it into nanograms. Let's please note that point, okay? So that we don't get lost. A wonderful article in the reputed British Medical Journal that 40 is the minimum blood level needed to prevent acute viral respiratory infections of any type. And now, when it comes to the COVID, where the problems are deeper and bigger, the vitamin D levels have to even be more than 40. 40 to 60 is the minimal blood level required for, sort of keeping us protected, keeping our fort strong against the COVID. And friends, it's not just about COVID. It is found that as the blood levels of vitamin D levels go up, see, from 20 to 40 to 60 to above, the incidence of major diseases comes down, including the different types of cancers. In fact, the anti-cancer blood level for vitamin D is 60 to 80, shown in various studies. So now, let's come to a conclusion that what should be the ideal blood levels. In fact, the Endocrine Society says 30 to 100 is normal. So why are we happy with 30? Okay, when the upper limit of safe blood levels is 100, friends, 100. So let's find the middle path. Let's try to achieve, 40 to 80. We are talking a general purpose right now. So to attain at least that level, how much vitamin D one needs to sort of take or manufacture every day? That is spoken in terms of IUs or international units. So one needs to make or take 9,000 international units daily to reach the blood level of 40 nanogram per ml. And at this juncture, friends, I will request you that if you are taking a preparation which has vitamin D, let us say 800 IU, 1000 IU, 2000 IU, it is inadequate to meet the requirement of today, where you want to boost your immune system and not just keep it limited for preventing rickets of the past. Okay, so we need to remember this point. A wonderful paper, a 21st century evaluation of the safety of oral vitamin D. Well, friends, this paper says that our ancestors working in the sun could make how much? 10,000 to 25,000 IUs of vitamin D every day. This was our manufacturing capacity. And it concludes that long-term daily intake of up to how much? 10,000 international units daily is good for having good physiological benefits and are safe. Okay, so there is no fear with a daily dose of at least 10,000 international units per day. So how can we be happy with 800 and 1,000 or even a 2,000 international units taken daily? Even the European community has set something called as the no observed adverse effect levels of vitamin D. So for adults, 10,000 per day intake is absolutely safe. For young adolescents between the age of 11 to 17, 4,000 IUs per day is bindas, safe. And for children who are less than 10, 2,000 international units is safe. So there comes a big question. Hey, can I not get it from food? Many of us think that, oh, you eat healthy, you're getting everything. But friends, in 2021, this is a misnomer, right? Because our ancestors also, they used to get 90% of their vitamin D by working, sweating in the sun. And 10% used to come from various food sources. So now today, are we ready to become farmers is a big question, right? And I'm sure with the comforts and the office environments we work in, it's a big no for majority, right? So 90% of vitamin D sources gone. Bachta hai 10%. Vegetarian food has no vitamin D. And we Indians are a predominantly vegetarian community. So where do we get it from? And that is one of the reasons we are going through this vitamin D deficiency. So we should not confuse vitamin D with calcium. Many people think I'm drinking milk, I'm getting vitamin D. But friends, no. Milk per se has no vitamin D unless it is fortified, which we do not have in our country. Okay? So egg yolk, one egg yolk gives how much? Only 40 IUs. So if today I need, let us say 10,000 international units, hey, how many eggs will I eat? Okay? Even a piece of fish has limited amount of vitamin D. You can see here, 100 glasses of milk a day will give you that much, and that too fortified milk. So then comes a question, all right, how much should I expose myself to the sun? So that, what is the minimal exposure I do so that I'm producing vitamin D like my ancestors? So friends, here comes the answer. Timing, okay? The timing of exposure is not our pleasant early morning walk. The timing of sun exposure has to be between 10 a.m. to 2 to 3 p.m. The peak time, when the sun is up above us. That's the time we get more of the beneficial ultraviolet B rays. And the body has to be at least 60 to 70, better 80% exposed without being covered, without using sunscreens for at least half an hour daily at that time, minimal, to get the vitamin D requirement for that day, Okay, friends? So I think it's clear that how do we expose ourselves to get this natural immune booster that is the divine energy of the sun. Okay, so let's come to 2021. We have three options. Either we become a farmer or we take supplemental vitamin D. Otherwise, we'll have to take medicines sooner or later, because vitamin D has protective mechanisms even for the heart, even for the brain, preventing cancer, for treating autoimmune diseases. It's unbelievable what all it can do. Like we talk about Amitabh Bachchan ji, Rajnikant ji, who can do any role in a movie. Similarly, vitamin D can perform so many functions. So we have these three choices to choose from. In fact, many times people do ask that, hey, I'm taking vitamin C and zinc and all, and do I need to take vitamin D? Well, vitamin C, zinc are very important, there is no doubt, but vitamin D is unmatched. It's like an umbrella. So today, if you're going out in the rain, okay, there's an umbrella, there's a sheet of plastic paper, there is a napkin kept in front of you to protect you from the rain. What will you choose? You will definitely go for the chhata, the umbrella. So do pick up the other things. Do take C, zinc, it's important. They have other functions to do. But vitamin D is unmatched because it works even at the level of genes. And it suppresses the production of bad genes, the bad chemicals that are leading to the cytokine storm in the body, which others actually are not capable of doing. So now, friends, having known all this, what do we take? Vitamin D is not really a medicine, okay? But it works like a medicine, okay? It is a supplement. So you can actually take it. You can go to the counter, you can ask for it. Counter means a medical store, and you can buy it. You don't need a medical prescription only for this to meet your
volume is very low.
Basic requirement. Okay. All right, friends, I'm going to be louder. I just got a message to be louder. I hope I was able to convey my points till now. Second. Okay, thank you. So I'll be a little louder now. So friends, vitamin D in our country comes in the form of small pills, you know, the way you can see in the screen, gel caps, sometimes tablets, sometimes in the form of a powder also, you know, and the common strength that we get in our country is 60,000 international units or 60K, commonly said 60K, all right? 60K per caplet per gel cap. This is what we get in India. All right. So the question is now, how do we take it? How much do I take it? This I must share with you the reports of today because it shows the importance and the need for it. See, vitamin D blood levels, can you believe it? Less than 3, less than 10. And this is very common, very, very common. So in case there are doctors sitting in this forum, I would literally request you, please, if you are dealing with COVID patients, you are doing their blood tests, please order vitamin D also to see how gravely low they are. And when you replace the vitamin D adequately for them, you can prevent the progression of the problem, which we are doing it so rampantly with patients. So here comes a point, vitamin D for prevention and vitamin D for treatment. I'm going to talk to you vitamin D for prevention, okay? Because the treatment, I leave it to us, the doctor group. And if there's any doctor group, if you want to talk, share, no, I'm there to do my best and share with you separately. You know, the number can be taken from Basanji. So this is how the scene is. And how do we make ourselves strong? We get a hint. When there was this H1N1 influenza in the West a couple of years back, you know what they did? They call this technique vitamin D hammer. So there in the US and Canada, you get vitamin D in strength of 50,000 international units per unit, right? So they gave it daily for 2 to 3 days to prevent an upcoming attack and then maintained it with a maintenance dose. Reason being, when the reports are going to be so low, and suppose we start taking this 60K, say once in 15 days, there are many people who have it in their prescription. In the beginning, only once in 15 days. Hey, take it once a week for 4 weeks and then take it once a month. Friends, it cannot take our levels up when we are, you know, it's like your car. Our cars are on the reserve, no petrol at all. How can the car run with 2 spoonfuls of petrol? We have to fill the tanki at least to a level that it starts moving and then maintain it. So let's look at the scene for today with the support of vitamin D hammer. I have made a very simple slide to make it clear and understandable. Majority of us who are not taking vitamin D or who have taken in the past and not taken for, let us say, 4 to 6 months, their blood levels are usually 10 to 20 or pathetically even less than 10 nanograms. And the target is what? 40 to 60. So what do? The same 60K vitamin D, there are many brands. I really don't want to take brand names because I'm not here to propagate any company, even otherwise. Okay, there are many brands available in the medical and the chemist stores. So 60K, we start with the vitamin D hammer. And seeing today's scene, we had started with taking it for 3 days, but now we have taken it up to take it for even 5 days to get immediate protection, right? Because we have a beautiful study from PGI Chandigarh and the Nizam Institute, Hyderabad also, which I will share with you, where they have given this 60K for 7 to 10 days, okay, to suspected cases and found very good results. So we gave a vitamin D hammer, 60K daily for 3 to 5 days, and this is to be taken in the morning after breakfast or lunch. And having given that a boost up to the petrol, then we try to keep it maintained with 60K once a week for at least 2 to 3 months. In fact, right now I'll say, till we are hearing this name, COVID, pandemic and all problems, keep taking at least, हाथ जोड़ के बोलती हूँ, at least हफ्ते में एक बार, उससे कम मत करिए. And once this pandemic settles down, things get normalized, then we go to 60K once in 15 days as a maintenance. always. Now, this is a mistake we do, we stop it. We wait for the car to come again on the reserve. It makes no sense, right, friends? So we continue taking it once in 15 days. That's fine, a very proper dose. Huh? Now, there's another category of people who are taking some form of vitamin D. Usually vitamin D comes as a combination with calcium, where the vitamin D could be 1,000 to 2,000 international units per tablet. Okay. Or there are people who are taking supplements online, and this is the average. If they are taking once in 15 days, 60K once in 15 days, it averages to about 4,000 to 5,000 IUs daily. Okay. So their average blood levels are roughly between 25 to 35 when checked. So we are not happy with this. We want it to go to 40 to 60. Hence, it is recommended they also take a vitamin D hammer, but for a lower number of days, 2 to 3 days, and then take once a week the 60K for 2 to 3 months, or till this COVID word we are hearing in a bad way, and then go on the maintenance dose of once in 15 days. This is for adults, and I hope I've been conveying the message, all in public interest. All. If not now, friends, then when? Abhi nahi karenge to kab karenge? It has actually become a matter of life and death. And vitamin D really can help to turn the table. Okay. This is that study I was talking to you about from PGI Chandigarh, where they have given this 60K daily. I've highlighted it in blue. You can see here 60K daily for 7 days. And they have found that their conversion or seronegative hona unka was faster than those who were not being given. In case the bell of vitamin D toxicity is ringing in your mind, friends, in this short time, I can speak on toxicity and its possibility and how rare it is for almost half an hour to 1 hour with you, but this is not the platform for that. Let's know one thing with an example. Think of a person who is dying of thirst, right? But is very scared of drowning. So he or she refuses to drink water. If I drink water, I may drown. This is what is the scenario today about the fear, the unnecessary fear of vitamin D toxicity, which has been ingrained into our minds. So, in the words of Dr. John Cannell, a very popular vitamin D researcher, worrying about vitamin D toxicity is like worrying about drowning when you are dying of thirst. So, please don't be scared of vitamin D. It's our very big friend. It is life energy. So to conclude this vitamin D part of my talk with you, friends, the facts for today, 2021, vitamin D deficiency is a global pandemic. In fact, it is a pandemic before the COVID came in. Vitamin D is a proven, powerful immunomodulator. It's proven. Mechanisms are known. Many mechanisms are there. When checked first time, without any supplementation, very low vitamin D levels are found in more than 90%, 3 to 20 nanograms per ml. And then nobody today in the urban and the semi-urban and even in the village setup, nobody has been found with the minimal desired 40 nanogram unless they are taking some supplementation. And friends, we lose nothing. We lose just nothing by improving the global vitamin D status, as food doesn't have it, and we refuse to adopt farming as our profession. So friends, vitamin D should be really not called a vitamin. It is a medicine, but coming to us from nature. It's a prohormone, it's an immune modulator, it's a genetic modulator. And just one slide to share how I've been treating patients of the most chronic stuck problems of autoimmunity like psoriasis, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, multiple sclerosis, and the list is unending, by giving vitamin D. But here, the doses are different. The forum is not the one to discuss that medical part. It has to be individualized for any patient, customized, and the results are actually very, very gratifying. So let us be safe and very confident by taking this gift of nature, sun, which is saying, beta, please ab goli kha le. Time aa gaya hai, please take the medicine. So friends, now let's move on to the software part. What software we can install to this fort of ours so that even if the virus is mutating, this vitamin D is a good physiological barrier. Physical barriers are important. The mask, the social distancing is very important. But with vitamin D, we are strengthening and creating a physiological barrier and are more confident. And now with proper breathing, we are installing a beautiful software and making ourselves even more healthier. So directly coming to what breathing practices can be sort of considered. Friends, they are too simple, huh? So please don't expect me to share with you very complicated practices, because the best things in life are actually the simple ones. You will definitely agree with me. So the first thing right now, as you can see here, is prone position breathing. I'm sure you must have read through the WhatsApp University also that lying on the belly and breathing is good, which is actually true in this situation, because the COVID is involving the lower and the picheka part, the posterior part of the lungs. So when somebody lies down like this, they clear off the secretions better. Okay, so this is just a confirmation that prone breathing is good. But there are other techniques which we want to do in general and improve our software. And the first thing is we learn from a baby, and that is belly breathing. I'm sure if you look back and think of your newborn child or your grandkids, if you look at them, they all are belly breathers, right? Unka pet upar niche, it moves up and down as they breathe. And how about us? If you look at yourself right now, closing your eyes for just 2 seconds, you will notice the belly is not moving in the breaths. In fact, we are very shallow chest breathers. It's only hardly the upper 20-30% of the chest area that is having some feeling of air coming in and going out. Even our middle and lower chest, where the COVID attacks, air is not moving there much. So let's get into first the basic breathing, the baby breathing, the belly breathing. And I'm going to, friends, right away ask you to join me in here. I wish it was a setup where I could see you all. But anyways, whatever best is possible, I will share with you. So we are going to keep one hand on the belly, पेट पे रखेंगे, and we are going to begin by breathing out. पहले सांस बाहर निकालेंगे. And when you breathe out, what happens? Your belly, you suck it in, become as slim as you can. And this you're doing simultaneously as you are breathing out. So one hand is on the chest, one hand is on the belly if you want to do it that way. Or keep both the hands on the belly to get a feel of it, right? Chaliye. And let's start. Breathe out and become slim, slim, slim as you pull your belly in. And जब आप सांस सब लेंगे, तो आपका पेट ढीला होके it is going to get relaxed. Breathe out and pull your belly button in. Breathe in, relax your belly button. It's so simple, isn't it? I wish I could ask you to do it and get your feedback, but I leave it to you like a sort of a homework, because it is natural breathing, friends. You will never get tired with this deep breathing, because unfortunately, if I ask, or if anybody is asked to take a deep breath, you know what we'll normally do? We will take a deep breath from the nose. Common tendencies, huh? If you can see me on the screen. And this is wrong. This breathing is giving us high BP, headaches, and facial stress. It's wrong breathing where you're inhaling and lifting your chest up, and then breathing out and bringing it down. No wonder we get tired and we never do it. So let's learn from nature. All animals are belly breathers. All pets, dog, cat, cow, buffalo, fish, birds, all are belly breathers. Even we are born as belly breathers till we become adults and we forget. So let's go back to our fundamentals and do this belly breathing. It's like charging the battery of your body. You know, the way we charge our cell phones, with belly breathing, you charge your cell phones and you do a lot of good to yourself. So when you do belly breathing, you start moving the air in the lower part of your lungs also. जो वहाँ पे pent up पड़ा हुआ है. When the tummy moves in and out, you push the air from the lungs out to come, as you can see in this picture in front of you. Look here. When we breathe in, the air comes in. You know, there's a muscle which is separating the chest and the abdomen called as a diaphragm. And that diaphragm is supposed to get down and the belly comes out when you breathe in. And when you breathe out, you pull the belly button in so that you're pushing the air out from the lower part of your lungs out. So friends, the key, whenever you start your belly breathing, begin by breathing out. So we'll never make a mistake. Breathe out and pull the belly button in. You can do it 10, 15 times, and we're going to have another small demo for you right now. So friends, in this slide, I want to share with you where all we are going to focus through the next few practices that we'll be doing. We did the belly breathing right now. Then we are going to do rib cage breathing, okay, where you're going to focus on your sides of the ribs. By the way, your liver is here, the lower part of the lungs, the lower part of the heart, the spleen, the stomach, all these organs get a beautiful massage with this correct breathing. Then we are going to focus on the front part of the chest part, and then we are going to focus also on the upper chest, throat, because all these are the airway areas which you want to sort of massage. The techniques I've tried to shortlist in front of you. And friends, I'm going to also share with you a video link of all these practices through Basanji, so that you have something to guide you when you practice on your own at home. Right now, we will quickly touch upon them. Belly breathing, humne abhi kiya. We will be doing the rib cage breathing, where the aim is to horizontally expand the chest. Now look at it. We are focusing on every part of the lungs, how to mobilize the air over there. Then we'll do something called as arms up and down breathing, which will give us vertical side expansion of your chest. Side say how to lengthen the chest. Then there'll be a breathing, arms open and close to open the front part of your chest. Then we'll do a breathing where we will breathe and forward bend simultaneously, so that the lower part of the lungs can empty themselves out well. Then we'll embark onto some humming. Humming, friends, is so powerful. Om has 3 syllables, A, U, and the Ma. We are going to hum or chant them separately, because when we do only the A chanting, we are massaging the lower part of the lungs. It's found, I'm talking pure science. When we chant just the U, we are massaging the middle part of the lungs. And when we chant the sound of Ma, we are massaging the upper part of the lungs. Isn't it interesting? And then when we do the Brahmari, we are massaging the nose and the nasal passage. So it's like you're stimulating these areas to function well. And today we also are reading that when you do these humming techniques, you produce natural nitric oxide in your nasal passage. And this nitric oxide is another antibacterial, antiviral. Interesting, huh? How our yogis knew all these things which today science is proving. And friends, if time permits, which it doesn't look like, I would like to quickly show you one beautiful technique. It's a unique technique of breathing, which is an antidepressant, anti-aging. We want to pep up our brains and the minds too at the same time. So I'll definitely try to make it happen for you. And with this, I will stop my presentation. And just in case you're interested to know the fundamentals of correct pranayama, this is one of my books, which is available online as well. So I am just going to change my screen sharing now and take you directly to a video, which is a part of the video that we have recorded. And as you can see here, the belly breathing. Okay, if you want, you can join in. It's another demonstration of total 5 minutes more. So this is my colleague, my friend, Dr. Anjali Vikhe. She's showing you the belly breathing. So as she breathes out, to show it to you, she is doing it through the mouth. Ki saans muh se bahar nikale. Lekin lene ka kaam, she's doing it from the nose. And see how the belly is going in as she breathes out, and how it comes out as she is inhaling. Okay? And once you keep your hand there, you become more aware of the technique. Moving on to the next one, the rib cage breathing, to expand our chest lower part in the horizontal direction. So Anjali will raise her arms now, and you will see how she is going to use the inner edge of her hands. Jo haath ke andar ka edge hai, she will place it, yes, on the lower part of the rib cage. Now, as she breathes out, she will squeeze her hands inside the ribs. Okay, haath se dabana hai. Saans liya, so see how the ribs expand. Breathing out, her hands are squeezing the ribs in. And when she is breathing in, you can join in if you want to. The ribs are going to push the hands out. So these are the areas where COVID attacks. And you're trying to mobilize and remove the stale and stagnant air out from there. Breathing out, the hands are squeezing the lower ribs in. Breathing in, the ribs are pushing the hands out. Repeating, breathing out, squeezing the hands in so that you empty it out. and the fresh air fills in with your breathing in. So friends, this is rib cage breathing. Now the next one is going to be arms up and down movement. So as she breathes in, her hands are going up, 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 and she continues to breathe until the hands have gone up. Breathing out, the hands come down. So the breath is actually long one. It's not a short one. Huh? Breathing in. See, she's going to take her hands up, inhaling. I'm getting musical. Breathing out to emphasize the continuity of the movement and breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. You're expanding the ribs and chest from the sides. You're filling air from lower, middle, bottom in the sides of your lungs. So it's a very simple technique, friends, but it's so effective. Why do we need complicated things? Simple things really work. Now, the front movement to expand the front part of the chest. Breathing in, her arms will open out on the sides, as if she's about to open, squeezing the shoulders back. And as she breathes out, as if she wants to hug somebody. Great. Breathe in and maximally pushing the shoulders back. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. See how you're pumping air to where you're not allowing air to move inside those parts of the lungs. All right. So this is the expansion of the chest with the help of the breaths. Now, forward bending along with the breathing so that the lower part of the lungs empty out. So breathing in, Anjali will raise her arms up as you can see just now. And as she breathes out, she will bring the arms down and also start bending forward, sitting on the chair. It is absolutely safe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. So these are such simple things. आप घर में बैठे बैठे सुबह शाम दिन में 2 बार तो कर ही सकते हैं. At least 10 times to each practice. Getting not just the movement of air into your lungs, but getting another life force, the pranic energy, the oxygen, which we get through the breaths. All right. And now we will go on to the humming part of it. We are also going to do some humming. The uma, as we discussed. So there is not really anything to see in this, but we will do it together. Maybe I'll put the screen off. Come to the screen sharing mode. Okay. So friends, let's all do it together. Okay. We will chant the sound of A 3 times, U 3 times, and the Ma 3 times. So Vasanji, if I could be put in the spotlight. Yeah. So when we chant the A, friends, we massage the lower part of the lungs. When we chant the U, we massage the middle part of the lungs. And when we chant the sound of Ma, we are massaging the upper lungs, neck, and the face. So hands can be just comfortably kept on your lap. And in case you want to do it with closed eyes, please do it. Because then you will be able to experience the location of the vibrations too. I will demonstrate to you one each, and then we will do it together. Okay? So before I chant, I have to inhale. So I breathe in. So with the A, then again I'll inhale and we do the A like that 3 times. Similarly, the U, inhaling. and then the ma, breathing in. Right? So let's do 3 each, and you may close your eyes so that you get the experience of the location. Chaliye, let's begin. Saans le. Breathe in. Breathe in. Another 3 chants of the sound of oo. Breathe in. Ooh. Feel the vibrations in the middle part, front part of your chest. Inhale. Inhale. Another sound of ma, which you will feel more in your upper chest, neck and face area. Inhale, please. Breathe in. I'm sure you don't feel like opening your eyes. You can be calm on your own when you practice yourself. And friends, after this, you can do the Brahmari, which is so popular. It is the sound of the honeybee. But friends, honestly, it's not a must to close your eyes and ears and make a loud sound of the Brahmari to tell everyone that, oh, I'm doing it. It should be soft so that you feel the vibrations inside your nose and the air passage. If it's loud, you will miss the massage which we need today. All right? And the sound of Brahmari is actually the sound of N. Na, not ma. Okay? Like when you say king, king, the na is Brahmari. So, in that, your tongue literally moves up to touch the roof of the mouth, the palate. Apne aap hoga jab aap na ki sound nikale. And that, maybe I'll show it to you. We'll do it 3 times together too. It sounds same like the ma, but internally the effects are different. Huh? Na is more internal. Saans le. Breathe in. And one more time. Breathe in. Friends, if anything can reach deep inside our cells, it is vibrations. So let us not underestimate how powerful these vibrations are. And they are so simple. We get tons of other benefits by doing them. So let's make it a part of our daily practice. So this was a little bit about how to work on the lungs and different areas. And friends, as I promised to you, there's a very simple technique to pep up the mind. Basanji, I'm taking 2 more minutes. In case you don't want me to, let me know.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Thank you. 2 to 3 minutes. Huh? So friends, this is a very nice technique where you also incorporate some movement of your hands. I'll first show it to you. See, I've folded my arms. One of my palms is turned up and the other one is turned down. And I do a very simple movement of my hands. And it's not a very big movement. Huh? Halka halka. Small movement of my hands. This is one thing that we continuously do. This is simple. How do we breathe? We break our breathing in into 4 small parts, and we break our breathing out into 4 small equal parts. I'll show it to you. When I'm inhaling, it is, now I exhale with 4 under, 4 bahar, but they are small, they're not big. Then I'm going to get tired in just 2 of them. So I have to break my one breath into 4 equal parts inhaling and 4 equal parts exhaling. I'll show it to you again. Got it? Now, the main challenge. I have to combine the two. Breathing in along with the hand movement. So I first start my arm movement. Okay, to show you. So my arm movements are on. And now I will superimpose my breathing onto it. Got it? This is the very simple technique. Do it for a minute and then we change the hand. The palm that was up turns down and the one that was down turns up, and we repeat the same thing. Now what does it do? Arm movement, breathing in a patterned manner, it is found to stimulate the alternate hemispheres of the brain like a tuck, 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 tuck. So the dormant areas of the brain, we pep them up and we stimulate and secrete some happy hormones, endorphins, dopamine in the brain, which do the job of antidepressant. They remove the fatigue of the mind, the brain tiredness. You know, we all feel sometimes so low, ki ye kya ho raha hai COVID-19? Hey, when it is going to be over? And it takes us down into a slumber of depression. So this technique is a great one actually, friends. It is published, it is printed in a journal in the West as a technique to combat brain fatigue, depression, and also it is anti-aging because it is activating our brain and preventing it from getting degenerated. So maybe we can try once together. Chaliye, sab log apna haath. We are going to keep our hands, elbows folded, touching the side of the body, and we start this movement. I would call it tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. ठीक है? आप सब कर रहे हैं. I anticipate. And now with a 4, 3, 2, 1, we will start the breath where we are breaking the inhalation into 4 parts and exhalation into 4 parts. चलिए, tick tock, 4, 3, 2, 1. In, out, 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 out. In, out, out. In, out. आप breathe करो. In, out, out. 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 In and out. हाथ नीचे, आंखें बंद. You will notice a very calm mind. No thoughts coming to you. It's a meditative mind actually. You activated the brain with the technique and now see how calm you feel. No worries, no anxieties, no fears. Take your time when you practice it. And now time is short, right? Just to tell you, you're going to do it with the other way. So the palm that was up turns down. And the last round for today, come on, let's start the tick tock. 4, 3, 2, 1. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. One more. In and out. Haath niche. I'm sure there were challenges to do this coordination, but friends, it's a learning. It's always good to learn new things and keep our brain young. Hoega, in case you were doing like this, which is very common, yeah, don't worry, it's normal. We all have done it in the beginning. So take your time, practice it. It's fun too. And I think with this, I'll stop. Thank you very much for giving me this extra time. But this technique is really unique. And I'll stop here now. And Basanji, once again, thank you for the opportunity. If you have any questions, please do ask.
Thank you so much, doctor. I hope I am visible. I am audible and visible.
Yes, please.
Great. So thanks for taking out time. That's very important in the current situation. You spent 1 hour with us, and I'm so thankful to you on behalf of CIO Club. We appreciate your gesture to provide these information and insights to all of us. Um, I like the session a lot, and there were a couple of learnings also for me. Uh, like I like the way you have shown this the strengthening of hardware and software. It's like very much related to CIO, and yes, vitamin D, as you have said, non-negotiable necessity of the day. 40 nanogram per ml is the minimum blood level to protect from acute viruses. 60 to 80% exposure for 30 minutes between exposure. The time exposure should be around 10 a.m. to 2. But
Yes.
I know this summer is really hot in northern part of country. So what do you advise for them? Because if even if you go outside around 11, the surface itself is burning.
I know.
So
So that's what, sir, we are living in 2021. That is one thing we have to accept, where there is a lot of pollution, number one, which was not there in the past when our ancestors were farmers. We have made holes in the ozone layer. So we have tons of other electromagnetic waves, which and which are having a negative impact on the health. And many people, despite adequate sun exposure, are also not having the vitamin D levels that are needed. So if we are thinking that I'm going to get vitamin D only with sun exposure, I think it is a risk you're taking in today's time. Please take vitamin D supplementation. It's if not now, then when. Let the things become normal, then you can have a breakup of both. But right now, I would suggest is समय केवल धूप पे depend न करे. And especially like you rightly said, it's summertime, and we don't want to get sunburns at the same time because of all these environmental and the industrial hazards that humanity has created, which were not present in the past.
thank you, and thanks for reminding that all animals, including infants, are belly breathers.
Oh yeah.
So thanks for reminding that.
Thank you.
To audience, just want to tell you that she's also a published author. She has written a couple of books and two very famous books, Power Pranayama. She already talked about taping the healing potential breathe, how to do the taping and healing. That's a very powerful technique. And also you have written book on power of posture,
Yes,
mindful alignment for a pain-free life. So we CIOs, mostly there, we are sitting in the office and our work is like more than 8 hours sitting in the same chair and not moving at all. So I hope we get an opportunity sometime to organize a session for that as well, for pain management. But
Sure, we'll do that. Sure.
for those who wants to quickly learn, these books are also available on Amazon. Are these only two books you have written, doctor, or there are many other books which I missed out?
Just two books. Thank you so much. I did write a book on diet before, but now it's not in print. But yes, these books are present. Like the pranayam book is in 5 languages. It's in Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, Kannada, and English. And the posture book is there in English and Marathi. We are from Maharashtra state. So, but no, I do intend to write a couple of books more. God wishes, definitely.
So I have received a couple of questions and I would like to ask them to you, doctor.
Sure.
So who all needs to take vitamin D? The elder, the younger, or the middle-aged guys? Is there any age limit? Everyone.
Everyone. In fact, kids, infants means who are less than 1 year are prescribed vitamin D. So it's there till 1 year of age. But after that, it is stopped. So it is found that even they need good amount of vitamin D to have a proper immune response to the various, infections which they encounter at young ages. And one very important thing to note is that as we advance in age, we need more vitamin D. Why? Because the body mechanisms that we have to process this vitamin D and activate it into its biological form, these mechanisms get, they age and become sluggish. So vitamin D requirement is more in adults than youngsters. I mean, it's more a must. 2, people who are obese, their vitamin D requirement is 2 to 3 times more than normal individuals. So, जिनका वजन ज़्यादा है, उनको भी vitamin D की ज़रूरत है. Diabetics, people who have heart issues, hey, they all need vitamin D. So in today's time, it's like food. Do we ask a question, do you need food? Vitamin D is food for the cells.
Yeah, and suppose we mostly work during weekdays, so Monday to Friday or Saturday we are working mostly in AC, in shades. We get only Sunday to go out. So even if we spend like 1 or 2 hours of on sunlight, or maybe more than that, we play around. For example, we spend 4 to 6 hours in the field. Would that vitamin D is enough, or still we need to take vitamin D?
It's not enough, sir. Actually, it's not enough. And I wish I could say yes, but I can't. Sorry, it's not. So please enjoy all these exercises and do take vitamin D also. And it's best to check it. No, proof is in tasting the pudding. This is the only vitamin that we can do a blood test. That's why I request the doctors, please check it in patients. Please correct it. It is so important. It is so crucial. And most of the panels nowadays do check it. Huh? Agar aap apna health panel karao, you can see the level. So don't be happy with your 20s and 30s. That is another point to note. Yeah.
Absolutely. And one interesting question, whether an improved immunity system guarantees 100% immunity from COVID-19?
Okay. Basanji, nothing is 100% proof. 100% proof, so there's nothing in life. Even love is not 100% safe. But the point is, it is a very major protection. See, COVID, we all have had, if you ask me, some or the other form. It's about the COVID disease. We do not want to get the problems and the complications. And vitamin D, if the levels are adequate in the body, the host means us. We have a proper response against the person who's attacking. So vitamin D is like you're making your food strong. So if something happens, we know how to deal with it. So it's not that if somebody is taking vitamin D, they will not get COVID. Even I checked my antibodies, I had it, but I never knew when. Kab hua, mujhe pata bhi nahi chala. Something mild must have happened. You get that point? Because I take adequate levels of vitamin D, and I've seen it not with me, but so many of my patients. It comes, it's mild, goes away. The problems, and if somebody gets the problems, also I told you, we give them higher doses of vitamin D to meet the challenge. Real high doses, because we have found that the body is consuming vitamin D to meet the target of burning the cytokine storm. So it helps there. It helps to prevent the, the bad form of the problem. And one more thing, today is a time where we are all heading for vaccinations, which is something we all must do. No, nothing, no doubt about it. But if my vitamin D levels are adequate, my response to the vaccine will be a much more balanced and a much more healthier one. Rather than taking a vaccine with very low vitamin D levels in the body, because you need that vitamin D to build the immune response also with the vaccine. So please, friends, don't ignore it.
And that means that if you're taking vitamin D, that doesn't mean that you lower the guards. You have to go outside with all the safety, wearing mask and keeping distance, etc.
Even with the vaccine, it is we have to do all these things. But vitamin D is keeping us safe against the problems of the infection, like a vaccine does, right?
I was wondering, I learned it from you that vitamin D is playing so much importance in this health pandemic issue. Whether there are any scientific proof, why I could not see much attention in the media, why people are not talking about it?
Well, there are lots of proofs for sure. I can give you so many, you'll be exhausted reading them. There's an exhaustive list of references, and every day we are getting more and more, and there's a global awareness about the whole thing. Why media and things are not taking well, I wish I could answer that to you, because I'm not a part of it. But I pray and I wish that it is taken up more seriously. Definitely.
So you have already answered one question, but I still want to ask on behalf of audience. So are there any disadvantages or hazards of taking vitamin D in high doses?
No, sir. Number one, what dose I have recommended today on this public forum is not a high dose. It is what is needed. It's like the regular food that we eat. We have to take, let us say, 2 chapatis. We can't be happy with 1 core of food. So I'm talking about those 2 chapatis. I'm not talking about taking 10 chapatis through this dose. Okay, that's one point. 2, vitamin D per se is not toxic, because when I deal with patients of autoimmune disorders, we have to give them higher than this dose to beat the vitamin D resistance they have. And we don't see problems because vitamin D manibula is not toxic. What is toxic at that time is high calcium, you know. So not for general purpose, but when we are giving high doses of vitamin D, we monitor certain parameters, and despite having vitamin D levels high, they do not have problems. So it's a very remote thing which sometime happened in the past. In fact, the drugs that we take, the medicines that we take have a much bigger spectrum of side effects than vitamin D. तो उसे डरने की कोई बात नहीं है सर in these days.
Please call me on Monday.
At all.
That means that it is good to go for prescription also. You should know what is your vitamin D label and
Better.
what is the right
Of course.
prescription for you basis on
Yeah.
your disease. You talked about autoimmune and
Yeah,
other diseases.
Definitely. When we are dealing with disease treatment, then we do a lot of testing. We have to do it. Uske bina we will not start the vitamin D dose because it has to be given in a different way. But today, when we are talking about this pandemic, where we are having a deficiency, where we are facing casualties, where we are facing such bad response to the infection, how can we ignore this? It's a matter of life and death now. So we have to understand its importance. And it's in mass interest, it's in public interest to at least correct your vitamin D levels with these doses. This सब कम है. आप check करा सकते हो, nothing like it. Because then we'll be more convinced in taking it. You know, Basanji, many times when patients come to me, we ask them, do it. Although we know it is low, taking the history. Because still they will not see the report. They don't believe, oh, that I could be low. I lead a healthy life. I'm a runner, gymmer, blah, blah, blah. You know, करते हैं तो पता चलता है that how low they are. So if you can do it, nothing like it.
Yeah, so just out of curiosity, you said it right because it's good to know and it's better to have a prescription to see that, you know, what is the right dosage for you. But what is the possible impact of toxicity caused due to higher vitamin D intake?
There is no, I'll tell you what, toxicity जो symptoms हम लोग पढ़ते हैं, they are because of high calcium. Okay, it's high calcium. So what does it lead to? Nothing major, nothing really major. If somebody gets that, high levels, stop passing stools completely. Severe nausea, severe vomiting, something like that. So why I was not bringing this? Because if today I get a vomiting, I should not think it is because of that. Vomiting is so common. There are 100 reasons to get vomiting. There are 100 reasons to be constipated. Today, stress is the biggest cause of constipation. So we should not attribute that to something and miss it like, I'm thirsty, but I will not drink water because I'm going to drown. We should not go into that attitude at this time. That is the main point. So there is nothing like that. Some people fear, let me make it more clear. They think you take more vitamin D, your kidneys will get damaged. It's a misconception. Vitamin D is needed for healthy kidneys. Even today, patients who are on dialysis, who have kidney problems, the nephrologists write vitamin D. But we have to monitor the calcium. We don't want the calcium to go up in that case. Because when you take vitamin D, what happens? The body starts absorbing the calcium more than otherwise. That's all. Got it? But luckily our food has enough calcium to meet the requirement provided हम vitamin D अच्छे से खा रहे. Vitamin D is more important to absorb the calcium. So vitamin D doesn't lead to kidney disease. Kidney stones patient, if people think I will take vitamin D, I'm going to get kidney stones. It's again a wrong notion. It is again stones are because of high calcium and not really vitamin D, right? And the doses that we have discussed today have no impact negative on kidneys or lead to kidney stones at all. Bilkul be rest assured. If you want, I will give you all the papers and you can go through them if you are interested. Sure, I'll be happy to do it.
One more interesting question. Which one is easy vitamin, you know, like best vitamin D, dietary, sunlight, or vitamin dosages? And we have seen different vitamin D available in the market. So what is the difference between nano oral solution and vitamin D tablets?
Sure. Sir, as we said that number one, vitamin, if we could really be farmers and we live in 19th century and get vitamin D from sun, that would be ideal. But it's not possible today. Diet, again, is not a good source of vitamin D. right? So we have to take supplements. The gel caps, you know, the one which have a liquid, they are better absorbed tablet form. But if you're taking tablet form, don't worry. You know what? You can take it with 1 spoon of, let us say, coconut oil, or take it after food to improve its absorption. The nano form is a new technology to improve the absorption of vitamin D, but yeah, it is more expensive, but it's a great one. And if you can take the nanotechnology bottles, it comes in the form of liquid, 5 ml bottles. This is also good. Okay, so at this time, whatever you get, please take it.
Thank you so much. One question on breathing technique. Also, somebody asked me whether to do it in the morning or to do in the afternoon or evening. One thing I have also learned that doing it empty stomach is also important, because you were talking about
Yes.
movement of the stomach and all. So
Yes,
that is
absolutely.
important. But what about the timing front?
Oh, empty stomach, you're right. I would say do once in the morning, once in the evening. Do it both. Breathing is so vital, so important. And suppose I have missed it in the morning, it doesn't mean I can't do it in the evening. We have to breathe round the clock. Breathing is an affirmation of life in us. Huh? So morning, evening, both. Ideal, or anyone, whatever you can do it, but career.
Thank you, doctor. I have also learned one thing. I saw in one of your site you have written, make a habit of two things. One, to help, or at least do not harm.
Yes.
What I have learned is, make a habit of two things: to help yourself, at least specifically your health, or at least to not to do any harm to your body by ignoring signs. So, so that was
I appreciate. Very nice. Thank you, sir. It was so timely pointed out by you. Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you so much, audiences. I would like to say, CIO Club session carries information to increase your immunity through intake of vitamin D, and also improving functioning of your chest and oxygen level through breathing techniques. You may want to use the information as a supplement to better understand importance of vitamin D, but it shouldn't be the sole thing that you use to make important medical decision. If it is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment, never ignore any advice in case you need a critical treatment. If you think you may have a medical emergency, immediately call your doctor. We are going to share contact details of Dr. Renu with all of you. There is a process for taking an appointment. So that she will be able to advise you, because I could see lot of queries are coming related to prescriptions and advices. I would recommend you to directly contact her, and that would be the best forum to discuss your problem in detail in person and get the medical advice. So thank you so much, doctor. Thank you so much once again for your precious time and the valuable information insights you have shared with us. And thanks to all audiences who has attended today. I wish everyone a very healthy time ahead, and make use of these learnings for your healthy life. Thanks once again.
Thank you, sir.
Namaskar.
Thank you, everyone. Best of health for everyone. Thank you.
Namaskar. Thank you.
Namaskar.